Hey, could someone give me a voice check?
Yes.
I can hear you, Gary.
Thank you very much, folks. Appreciate it.
Madam Chair, my phone says it's 7 o'clock, and we do appear to have a quorum.
Good evening. Christine, Bob, you guys think we're ready?
I think so.
Yes, ma'am.
We are missing some regular members from Prince William County, but we do have several alternates who are with us online.
Okay,
So it's up to you if you would like to wait for a minute or two to see if the other members from Prince William join.
sure. Let's give it about another minute or so. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I will now call this meeting to order. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and related state of emergency, and as set forth in the Commission's Resolution 20-05-01 from the May 7th, 2020 meeting, the Executive Committee meeting is, the Prince William County, PRTC's meeting will be conducted remotely this month. Public access is being provided by conference call-in. This information is on PRTC's website, Facebook page, and at the Transit Center, as well as being advertised in Inside Nova and the Freelance Star. We will follow the same procedure as before. Please state your name when speaking. I will call for questions and/or comments by jurisdiction, and commissioners who need to leave the meeting should verbally advise me prior to leaving so it can be reflected in the meeting minutes. And now we will move into the invocation. If we can all please bow our heads. Lord, thank you for the opportunity to join once again, starting a new year with the ability and the opportunity to represent many constituents throughout the Northern Virginia region. We thank you for the opportunity to serve amongst each other. We thank you for the opportunity to share ideas and to really do what's necessary for the public good. We ask that you just watch over this meeting, and we ask that it be productive. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. And now if we can please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we call the roll, I would like to welcome new alternate commissioners, Kimberly Short and Kalai Kandasamy from Prince William County, Thomas Cohn from Stafford County, Alana Mincing and Daryl Moore from the City of Manassas Park. And Christina, will you please call the roll?
Victor Angry,
Here.
Andrea Bailey,
Present.
Kenny Bodie, Margaret Franklin,
Present.
Janine Lawson,
Here.
Yesley Vega,
Here.
Pete Canland, Maggie Hansford, Kalai Kandasamy,
Here.
Kim Short,
Here.
Benny Smith,
Here.
Ann Wheeler, Tanisha Allen. Oh, I'm sorry. Because Supervisor Bodie hasn't joined us yet, we do have one seat, one voting member needed for Prince William County until Supervisor Bodie arrives. So I will ask Benny Smith to fill that role. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
From Stafford County, Tanisha Allen,
Here.
Cindy Shelton,
Here.
Meg Bumpke, and Tom Cone.
Here.
Because we have our two regular commissioners, Supervisor Cone will be a non-voting alternate. From the city of Manassas, Pam Subesche
Present.
and Ralph Smith.
He's trying to log on, so he's going to be there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
From the city of Manassas Park, Jeanette Rischel, Preston Banks, Alana Mensing,
Here.
and Daryl Moore.
Present.
Because Mayor Rischel is unavailable tonight, Councilmember Moore will be our voting member from Manassas Park.
Okay.
From the city of Fredericksburg, Matt Kelly
Here.
and Jason Graham. From Spotsylvania County, Deborah Frazier,
Here.
Gary Skinner,
Here.
Tim McLaughlin, and David Ross. From DRPT, Jennifer Mitchell, Jennifer DeBrule, Todd Horsley,
Here.
and Steve Pittard. And from our House of Delegates, Delegate Carter and Delegate Guzman. Okay, and from the State Senate, George Barker.
Here.
All right, thank you. Madam Chair, we do have a quorum.
Okay, we'll now move into item 4, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Supervisor Angry. Is there a second?
Second, Pam Subesche.
Seconded by Vice Chair Subesky. Is there any discussion from Prince William County? Stafford County,
No comments.
City of Manassas,
No comments.
Manassas Park,
No comments.
Spotsylvania, Fredericksburg,
No comment.
General Assembly,
No issue.
DRPT.
No comment.
Christine, will you please call the roll?
Victor Angry,
Aye.
Andrea Bailey,
Aye.
Margaret Franklin,
Aye.
Janine Lawson,
Aye.
Yesli Vega,
Aye.
Benny Smith,
Aye.
Tanisha Allen, Cindy Shelton,
Aye.
Pam Subesche,
Aye.
Daryl Moore,
Aye.
Matthew Kelly,
Aye.
Deborah Frazier,
Aye.
Gary Skinner,
Aye.
Todd Horsley,
Aye.
and George Barker.
Aye.
Madam Chair, that resolution is approved.
Okay, we'll now move into item 5.1, approval of the meeting minutes from December. Is there a motion?
So moved, Shelton. Second, Supervisor Bailey.
Moved by Supervisor Shelton and seconded by Supervisor Bailey. Any questions or comments from Prince William County? Stafford County,
None.
City of Manassas,
None.
Manassas Park,
No.
Spotsylvania,
None.
Fredericksburg,
None.
General Assembly,
None.
and DRPT.
No comment.
Okay, Christine, will you please call the roll?
Victor Angry,
Aye.
Andrea Bailey,
Aye.
Margaret Franklin,
Aye.
Janine Lawson,
Aye.
Yesli Vega,
Aye.
Benny Smith,
Aye.
Tanisha Allen,
Aye.
Cindy Shelton,
Aye.
Pam Subesche,
Aye.
Daryl Moore,
Stay.
Matt Kelly,
Aye.
Deborah Frazier,
Aye.
Gary Skinner,
Aye.
Todd Horsley,
Aye.
and George Barker.
Aye.
Madam Chair, that resolution is approved.
Okay, We'll now move into item 6, the VRE Executive Officer's time. I'll turn it over to now Mr. Dalton.
Thank you and good evening, Madam Chair, and good evening, Commission members and others. You have the VRE CEO report in your packet, attachment 6.1, and the December 2020 update, which is attachment 6.5. So I will just speak to some highlights here. VRE continues to operate at a reduced service level, referred to as our S+ schedule. We continue to manage and enhance the health and safety measures implemented system-wide in 2020. We've also just recently completed the pre-registration process for the COVID-19 vaccinations for staff and contracted service providers through local health departments. Public transit workers are considered essential and under the prioritization criteria set by the CDC and the Virginia Department of Health, which is Group 1B. For the month of December, ridership, our average daily ridership did drop approximately 1,000 average daily riders a day, primarily due to the holiday season. Our on-time performance was strong for the month at 96%. And then finally, the majority of VRE staff continues to work remotely. All of our business functions are fully operational as we continue to maintain a continuity of operations. Unless anybody has any questions, that is my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Are there any questions from Prince William County or comments?
No question.
Stafford County,
No questions.
City of Manassas,
No questions.
Manassas Park,
No questions.
Spotsylvania,
No questions.
Fredericksburg,
No questions.
General Assembly,
No questions.
PRPT.
No questions.
Okay, Mr. Dalton, nothing else to add?
Oh, ma'am.
Okay, excellent, thank you. I guess we'll move into item 6.2. Rich, did you want to explain, I guess 6.2, 6.3?
Yeah, yes, Madam Chair, let me
6.2, my apology.
6.2.
That's right.
Yeah, let me do that. I'll provide a very high level summary, and then maybe open that up to questions if you want, either myself. We do have joining us tonight, VRE's Chief Financial Officer, Mark Schofield, so he's available in addition to myself to answer any questions. So
That would be great.
oh, great. So without further ado, so 6.2, what we're requesting the commission adopt and refer the amended FY 2021 and recommended FY 2022 Virginia Railway Express operating and capital budgets to the jurisdictions. Again, a high-level summary, the recommended FY 2022 operating and capital budget totals $185.9 million. The operating budget includes no changes to passenger fares and projects an average daily ridership of about 6,000 trips, which results in a projected annual fare revenue of about $18.2 million. The budget includes no change to total subsidy jurisdiction over the FY 2021 levels, resulting in a total subsidy of $18,300,780 across VRE's 9 jurisdictional partners. And just make a note, as you know, VRE was allocated approximately $86 million in relief funding through the CARES Act that is available to help offset additional costs and lost revenues. The amended FY 2020 and the recommended FY 22 budgets, operating budgets, reflects the projected use by fiscal year. And you'll find a table in your packet there from the action or resolution that was passed at the operations board level or board meeting, I believe about page 4, that has a table that just actually shows how we're projecting that allocation. On the capital improvement plan side, it simply includes or continues to include an integrated set of projects and programs that will improve passenger safety and operational efficiency to maintain VRE system in a state of good repair primarily, and of course, expand capacity. Full funding for the projects in FY 2022 through FY 2027 totals $816.6 million using current cost estimates at the year of expenditure. Of this total, about $705 million or 86% is funded from a range of federal, state, regional, and local sources. That is my summary, Madam Chair. Again, willing to entertain any questions, again, from myself or our CFO.
Madam Chair, this is Supervisor Shelton.
Actually, can we get a motion and then go into discussion? Is there a
Sure.
motion?
Thank you.
So move Supervisor Bailey.
Moved by Supervisor Bailey. Is there a second?
Shelton.
Seconded by
Second.
Ms.
Deborah
Frazier.
Frazier.
Okay, discussion, Prince William County,
No discussion.
Stafford County.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, it wasn't quick on the draw. This
Okay.
is Supervisor Lawson.
Supervisor Lawson.
Thanks. Mark, of the 86 million that we received from the feds for COVID, how much of that has already been spent?
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you for, that's a good question. We have drawn approximately $3 million from the CARES Act money for the deficit that we had in the fourth quarter of FY20. We are preparing a Q1 of FY 2021 draw right now. That will be on the order of about $8 or $9 million. And then once we have our Q2 numbers set, then we will make a draw for Q2. And again, that will probably be in the range of $8 million or so.
Thank you, Mark. And Madam Chair, if I can have a follow-up.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks. Does that have a deadline, or have they extended it with some of the other COVID funding requirements? Can you just talk to us a little bit about any deadline that we're looking at?
Sure. That's a great question. The CARES Act money for the transit agencies does not have a deadline like a number of the other CARES Act programs have. So we are obviously trying to expend that money as expeditiously as we can, but there's no looming deadline.
Thank you, Mark.
Any other questions or comments from Prince William County? Stafford County? Ms. Shelton? Oh, I think you're muted. Ms. Shelton, you're muted.
Supervisor Lawson asked my question. Thank you.
Oh, all right. City of Manassas,
No questions.
Manassas Park,
No questions.
Spotsylvania,
No questions.
Fredericksburg,
No questions.
General Assembly,
No questions.
DRPT.
No questions.
Christine, will you please call the roll?
Victor Angry,
Aye.
Andrea Bailey,
Aye.
Margaret Franklin,
Aye.
Janine Lawson,
Aye.
Yesley Vega,
Aye.
Benny Smith,
Aye.
Tanisha Allen,
Aye.
Cindy Shelton, I didn't hear a reply
Aye.
from Cindy Shelton.
Aye.
Pam Subesche,
Aye.
Daryl Moore,
Aye.
Matt Kelly,
Aye.
Deborah Frazier,
Aye.
Gary Skinner,
Aye.
Todd Horsley,
Aye.
and George Barker.
Aye.
Madam Chair, that resolution is approved.
Okay, thank you. We'll now go into item 6.3. I believe we have one item for closed session. Ms. Pandak, would you like to speak?
Madam Chair, I believe there's a resolution in your package for a closed meeting for a personnel matter pursuant to 2.2-3711A1 of the state code.
Okay, is there a motion to authorize closed session?
So
So
moved.
moved, Pam Subesche.
Madam Chairman, this is Steve McIsaac. I want to make, there are actually two items for closed session. The motion should reflect both a personnel matter and a real estate property acquisition related matter.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion to go into closed session?
So
Moved
moved,
by-
Pam Subesche.
Made by Pam Subesche. Is there a second?
Second Supervisor Bailey.
Okay, seconded by Supervisor Bailey. Any questions from Prince William County? Stafford County,
None.
City of Manassas,
None.
Manassas Park,
No question.
Spotsylvania, Fredericksburg,
None.
No questions, Fredericksburg.
General Assembly,
No questions.
and DRPT.
No, no questions.
Christine, will you please call the roll?
Victor Angry.
Aye.
Andrea Bailey,
Aye.
Margaret Franklin,
Aye.
Janine Lawson,
Aye.
Yesley Vega,
Aye.
Benny Smith,
Aye.
Tanisha Allen,
Aye.
Cindy Shelton,
Aye.
Pam Subesche,
Aye.
Daryl Moore,
Aye.
Matt Kelly,
Aye.
Deborah Frazier,
Aye.
Gary Skinner, I didn't hear a reply from Gary Skinner.
I'm sorry. Aye.
Thank you. Todd Horsley
Aye.
and George Barker.
Aye.
Madam Chair, that resolution is approved.
Okay. Carl, is Carl breaking us out, or how are we doing the closed session?
I believe that you will be, you'll see a message pop up on your screen asking if you want to join the breakout room, and go ahead and do so.
I don't see anything yet, should I?
Yeah, either I.
Yeah, I don't either.
There's a lot of people going into the closed session, so it may take a couple minutes before everyone actually moves.
And Christine, are we sure that the messages are coming up?
Because
I'm
I have,
going- I'll defer to either Carl or Doris to answer that.
I have
Yeah,
Carl
we're working
on the
through the
phone
technical
now.
side on that. Give us a moment.
Christine, Mr. Smith is still not able to get in. He said he did not receive the email with the link. I tried to send it to him. So I just want to make sure he gets to be able to be included in
Okay.
all of this.
I'm going to do that, so I probably won't be able to answer questions for a moment while I switch between my screens.
Thank you.
Christine, I
Christine,
did
I'll
send
take care
him
of
the
him.
link.
Thank you very
I'll
much.
take care of it.
I sent that, Bob, but you can send it again.
I'm sorry, but I don't have any good jokes to tell while we wait.
Come on, Madam Chair, come up with something.
I got nothing.
What happened to the snow that we were supposed to get this week, predicted a week ago or 2 weeks ago?
I asked them to cancel it.
Okay.
It's the only
that's my
job
one
in the
joke.
world where you can be wrong all the time and still get paid.
And it's still okay.
Be considered good at it.
Well, I can assure you as a transit provider,
You don't want
we
it.
don't like the snow. Either bring
Yeah.
us a blizzard so that nobody moves, or don't even bother. That's where we stand.
And as a nurse, Bob, I echo the same thing. I either want to be totally like, they're not coming to get me in a 4-wheel drive. I want it to be. Otherwise, it's just a mess.
Well, schools look forward to snow day, but with virtual learning, I think snow days might be a thing of the past.
Certainly could be.
Yeah.
So didn't they just have some in Prince William County?
We're back hybrid in Spotsylvania. Our kids went back to school in October, but since the winter break, we extended it for 2 weeks, and this past Monday, the school board extended 2 more weeks. So we actually go back on the first week in February, hybrid again.
But yes,
Yeah.
to answer your question, they did have a snow day in Prince William County. Actually, I think it was 2.
And I think it's because it was for the people that weren't in the online stuff. I think it was for those that were going into the buildings.
Going into the building.
Yeah.
I do apologize. I think this is the biggest technical glitch we've had thus far in all of our meetings. So as I think all the commissioners know, this is an aberration in comparison to how we normally run. So thank you for your patience.
Absolutely. That's why we
actually,
were asking.
Yeah. Sharon and Bob, let me ask, is it possible to move to other items and then come back?
Well, it would be harder now because we actually have told the public you're going into closed meeting and you're literally in quote unquote transit going into closed meeting. So
Understood.
I think unfortunately, I think it might make it worse. So, but you can have personal conversations now. About
Which we don't usually get to do.
True.
I was going to say, related to this, the snow days, we had a bill in the legislature today from a bunch of school divisions in Southwest Virginia. They got all their kids in in-person school, but they want to make sure that if there's any snow, that they can force the kids to go virtual. And so they, so it doesn't count as a day against them. So they have to make up at the end of the school year. So.
Oh, join the breakout room.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so what's the deal? I don't get to join the breakout room. I hear everybody all excited, and I'm sitting here looking at my screen like, well, wait a minute. I don't.
Vic, we'll start our own team.
You know, there's no fun in the breakout room, right?
Exactly.
Did everyone get an invite?
Not me.
No, I haven't gotten an invite.
No, I haven't.
Well, we know they can't start the meeting without our chair, so they're not doing much over there except having a personal conversation still.
This is actually a huge joke to torture all of you.
Are you guys, oh, hold on, I'm sorry.
Well, I guess I'll continue cleaning out this 100 inbox email of mine.
Only 100?
Yeah, actually, yeah. So I knocked down about 30. So I guess that sounds good. If you got more than 100, wow.
I got 10,000.
Oh no, you can't do that. No, I can't function with that. No. Yes, I'm leaving you folks. I'm going over.
Okay, I'm sorry. So Kenny needs to go. Oh,
I need to go. Todd Horsley.
Rich Dalton.
That's right. They're not going to get very far without Rich either.
Smith needs to go.
Yes.
Okay, is that everybody?
I see there's somebody non-voting alternate. I can't see the name, but that person needs to go.
I think they've been invited. They may not just have accepted.
Okay.
Tom-
Ralph
Tom-
and Ralph Smith's picture is still here.
Hey, Carl, this is Joyce. I got a breakout.
Cancel that, I'm sorry.
And so I just said no later. Yeah, okay.
And Joe, you need to do the same, and so does Doris. But the other one,
I did, don't worry.
They've been invited. They just they need to accept it on their screen.
Oh, okay. And so this is non-voting alternate. Oh, so you're saying that he got an invite, but he apparently didn't click to join.
Right.
Okay. All right, then I guess that's everyone.
So it's like the only one that really has not joined that needs to be in is Tom.
Okay.
From what I can see. And I inadvertently invited some extras. If you guys can cancel that, please do.
Mr. Smith, why are you back? You're on mute. You're on mute, so we can't hear you.
Mr. Bodie showed up.
Oh, well, you're still allowed to be in the closed meeting.
Well, okay, well, I missed it then.
You just can't vote now.
Yeah, that's fine. Listen, I can vote most of the time. Okay.
You should be able to join again by looking down at the bottom of your screen where it says breakout rooms.
Breakout rooms. I don't see it on my machine here.
You may have to look under the more area.
The more.
To the far right.
I don't see it. Breakout rooms. Okay.
And that would be breakout room 1.
Yep. Thank you. I'll rejoin them. Thank you.
Okay. Carl, you can pause the recording.
Carl, did you see Bob's message? They're ready to come back?
Okay, they can just leave the room. I'll close the room out.
Okay, I think that's what he probably needs for you to do.
I feel a little more comfortable if one person came out. But I do not see Bob's message, but okay.
He said about to come out of closed session. In the breakout, bring us back.
Okay, it's should be coming. Okay,
Madam Chair, I think we are back, so I don't see anyone else.
So Madam Chair, you need a motion to certify that you only talked about that matter for which you went into closed session.
Okay, we'll now move into item 6.4. Motion to certify the closed meeting of PRTC. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Yep, Supervisor Bailey.
Second. Should Supervisor Lawson read the motion?
No, you need to certify first and vote on that, and then Supervisor Lawson will read the motion.
Okay, great. Okay, moved by Supervisor Angry, seconded by Supervisor Bailey. Are there any questions from Prince William County? Stafford County?
None.
City of Manassas? Manassas Park? Spotsylvania? Fredericksburg?
No questions.
General Assembly? And DRPT?
No questions.
Okay. Christine, will you call the roll? Christine, will
Christine,
you
you appear
call
to
the
be
roll?
muted.
No, we can't hear you.
Yes.
I can lip read. Aye.
Yeah, Christine, just check if for whatever reason your mute microphone is off,
It's up now. It's up.
but I don't think your microphone is picking you up.
Yeah.
And I believe this happened to the chair last meeting. So Christine, you may need to dial out and dial right back in. Doris, do you have a redundancy copy of the checklist that you can read off of?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Christine, are you
we're going to go
there?
ahead and have Doris read off as a backup.
Okay,
And then-
that's good.
Okay, so we'll keep the meeting moving.
Mr. Angry?
Aye.
Ms. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Bodie?
Aye.
Ms. Franklin?
Aye.
Ms. Lawson?
Aye.
Ms. Vega?
Aye.
Miss Allen,
Aye.
Miss Shelton,
Aye.
Miss Subesche, Miss Subesche, you're muted.
You're on mute.
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
I'm sorry, Miss Frazier,
Aye.
Mr. Skinner,
Aye.
Mr. Horsley,
Aye.
Mr. Barker.
Aye.
That resolution has passed.
Okay, is there a motion to read?
Madam Chair,
Supervisor Lawson?
thank you. I move that the Potomac Rappahannock Transportation Commission approve a limited waiver of the conflict for McGuire Woods LLP arising out of its representation of JBG Smith Properties and matters related to the Crystal City VRE Station project.
Second.
Moved by Supervisor Lawson, seconded by Supervisor Angry. Any discussion from Prince William County? Stafford County?
None.
City of Manassas?
Yay.
Manassas Park?
No.
Spotsylvania?
No questions.
Fredericksburg?
No questions.
General Assembly?
No questions.
And DRPT?
No questions.
Christine, will you call the roll? If not, Doris, will you call the roll?
Christine, we still can't hear you.
Your
I'll go ahead
phone
and-
is muted, Christine. Doris, go ahead and read that. We'll figure out how to try to unmute her remotely. But Doris, go ahead and read the roll.
Mr. Angry,
Aye.
Miss Bailey,
Aye.
Mr. Bodie,
Aye.
Miss Franklin,
Aye.
Miss Lawson,
Aye.
Miss Vega,
Aye.
Miss Allen, Miss Shelton,
Aye.
Miss Spesky,
Aye.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Miss Frazier,
Aye.
Mr. Skinner,
Aye.
Mr. Horsley,
Aye.
Senator Barker.
Aye.
Madam Chair, that resolution has passed.
Okay, thank you. And just of note for item 6.5, there are several VRE information items, so feel free to look those up if you would like more information. Item 7, were there any comments submitted for public comment time?
There were, and we're trying to get Christine to unmute. She has those. They were received after the meeting last month, but were directly related to that. So we're going to try to have those available to you. At a minimum, they will be included in the minutes and emailed out to you tomorrow in their form. Christine has those, so we just don't have the ability to read them off. We're working through that, so if that does change, we can come back to that item if we can get her to unmute. So we will read those into record by either providing them to you separately or later on in the meeting, but we definitely want those included.
Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda for items 8.2 and 8.3. 8.2 is the monthly jurisdictional financial report that we do each month. And item 8.3 is approval for Spotsylvania to utilize their fuels tax for FY 2021 and for prior transit items. Is there a motion for 8.1 to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Seconds.
That was Gary Skinner.
Okay, moved by Mr. Skinner, seconded by Supervisor Bailey. Any discussion from Prince William County?
No discussion.
Stafford County?
None.
City of Manassas?
None.
Manassas Park?
Discussion.
Spotsylvania?
None.
Fredericksburg?
No questions.
General Assembly?
No questions.
DRPT?
No questions.
Doris, will you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Angry?
Aye.
Ms. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Bodie?
Aye.
Ms. Franklin?
Aye.
Ms. Lawson?
Aye.
Ms. Vega?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Shelton?
Aye.
Ms. Subesche?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Franklin, I'm sorry, Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Mr. Skinner?
Aye.
Mr. Horsley?
Aye.
Senator Barker?
Aye.
Madam Chair, that resolution has passed.
Okay, great.
My
And
phone is working now?
we can hear you. Thank
Okay.
you. And Bob, I'm sorry, Christina?
I was wondering if you wanted me to go back to the public comment.
Yes, if we can do that. And if you may want to close one of your devices. Okay. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to have those emailed out. Bob, as a reminder, do we need to vote on 8.2 and 8.3 separately, or is that taken care of for 8.1?
No, just voting on the comprehensive items includes them all.
Excellent. Okay. All right. We'll now move into item 9, the executive director's time.
Yes, thank you very much. First, safety and security. This is something we obviously work through every day, but last Wednesday's riots at the U.S. Capitol triggered our internal safety and security plans. While we do not review those in depth in our public meetings, we have had extensive coordination and training, and as the TSA Gold Standard Award winners, along with our friends at VRE and WMATA, we are continuously scanning for threats and being operationally ready and aware. We had already instituted our ESP plan, which is our emergency services plan, in coordination with other agencies, and continue to coordinate with the Pentagon, MATOC, and regional stakeholders. Our regional safety and security call this week included representatives from Prince William County Schools, Prince William County Transportation Department, as well as representatives from Arlington, Alexandria, and beyond. As Metro planned their own service changes and station closures, we too are ready in our ESP protocols for service. Reminders to employees and passengers to be aware and remain vigilant are ongoing. And as we head into what we hope will be a secure and peaceful week, we are thankful for our frontline employees who have done a phenomenal job for us, and we continue to thank them for their excellence. On the COVID-19 front, we continue to work through that in terms of keeping our fleet and facilities clean and our employees and passengers safe. OmniRide is considered a 1B organization in the COVID-19 vaccine protocols. And last Friday, in advance of the state moving into the 1B vaccinations, we made contact with the Prince William County Health Department and have registered with the district and simply are awaiting the notification from the health department as we begin steps to provide that information. So we have done internal prioritization, putting our frontline workers absolutely at the front of the line, but hopefully the entire organization can receive their vaccine at the same time. On the funding front, that is right now amongst the most fluid things we are working through. On December 27th of 2020, Congress passed a supplemental CARES funding package that included an additional $14 billion in aid to transit agencies, with about $1 billion going to Amtrak and $600 million for rural transit systems. The remainder is applied under the same formula as in April 2020. However, what Congress has done is treat the two relief packages as a single unit and set limitations on the percentage of budget each agency can receive. So then excess funds will flow back to FTA for redistribution to systems that receive funds that is less than 75% of our operating funds. So for a little bit of clarity, if you receive more than 75% or up to 75% of your 2018 operating budget, you won't get any additional funding. They're not going to take away, but there were some small Midwestern systems or organizations that did receive more than their 75% of their operating budget. So then those dollars will just be used to supplement those who do not have that. We are one of those organizations that is far below that threshold. And our initial projection lies somewhere between $2 and $3 million in this new supplemental package. And the reason we don't know that amount is that very thing I described. They're going back through, there's approximately $830 million to the National Capital Region. But with that and the calculations, we are yet to determine what that amount will be. we are at least projected now, prior funds of 9.3 million would have run out for us in late March or early April. So this additional amount is expected to take us through at least the end of July 2021 at our current service and spending rate. Any additional funds will only extend that, which has the potential for redistribution of the supplemental funds. So number one, we are at least in position now to be okay through the end of July in terms of our current service level. What's distinct is if additional funds do flow back, then to FTA and it's redistributed, there's additional aid that could come from that. And as I'm sure most of you are aware, President-elect Biden is reported to include an additional $20 billion in transportation aid this evening in the package that is being presented. Of course, that is a proposal, and we treat all CARES funds very carefully and follow the guidelines accordingly. As ridership returns and revenue returns, we'll be able to extend those dollars further into the fiscal year and ensure a managed budget with checks and triggers that allow for the return of commuter services to match our ridership while still achieving our primary goals of protecting the jobs of employees and preserving the services our customer rides with a priority on our local routes. So as we do see that reduction in COVID infections, just hopefully through the combination of the vaccine, as well as continuing to try to do our best for stopping that spread, we'll start to see ridership return, and it becomes that balance of both ridership returning with revenue, as well as us being able to manage our dollars that will hopefully extend us well through the remainder of the calendar year. So those are the three main items: safety, security, COVID, and funding. We will just have to await where things land. We are very appreciative of what the feds have done. Spoken with Senator Warner's office, just to give them an indication of what this does in terms of impact, and stressing that this is just a temporary thing because we will still have some challenges toward the end of, or the middle of summer. But we will close the fiscal year, should be right on budget and in position to spend any additional dollars to take care of our workforce. Madam Chair, those are the three highlight items, and I defer for any questions.
Okay, any questions or comments from Prince William County? Any questions from Stafford County?
No questions.
City of Manassas?
No questions.
Manassas Park?
No question.
Spotsylvania?
No questions.
Fredericksburg?
No questions.
General Assembly?
No questions.
DRPT?
No questions.
Okay, and I also noticed Ms. Murdoch from Keolis is on the
That
call.
is my apologies. Yes, she's next on that.
No problems. Just briefly, I'd like to thank Chairman Franklin and Commissioner Angry for coming over and spending time with our employees during the Christmas events. They really enjoyed having the opportunity to mingle with you. And also, we're just working diligently with the executive director on the vaccination process and providing safe service for our customers and our employees into the district over the next week.
Okay. And
Thank you for catching that. I should look at the agenda.
sure, yeah. Are there any questions from for Ms. Murdoch from Prince William County? Stafford County?
None.
City of Manassas? Manassas Park?
No question.
Spotsylvania?
No questions.
Fredericksburg?
No questions.
General Assembly?
No questions.
And DRPT?
No questions.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I apologize. I missed the opportunity, and I just want to be real quick to thank Ms. Murdoch. You know, the transition of what you all have done, I was able to walk around and view PRTC and look at some of the upgrades and see the difference. And actually, I can't say the difference because I don't know the attitudes of the employees before, but I can tell you, listening to the stories that they were sharing with me about some of the improvements they saw, it's a positive start. So I just want to say that for the experience I had as I enjoyed fellowshipping with a lot of the personnel and employees there during the holiday recession, but just to take the tour and engage in conversation is very positive. and it looks like a very bright future for our PRTC personnel. So just want to acknowledge you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Supervisor Angry. I was also going to mention that I like the fact that one of the main goals of Ms. Murdoch is really to get the commission more active in meeting with PRTC employees as well as Keolis employees. Obviously, she's in charge of the Keolis portion, but really pushing us to get to know those of which we have oversight in terms of PRTC and our transit system. So I appreciate that. And hopefully we can start sending out regular notices to the commission in case they want to get involved and come and meet some of the employees. So thank you.
We'll send something monthly.
Excellent. Bob, did you have anything else to add to your report?
One thing I would recommend is we have the industry article under item 9.3. We have not been charging local fares since the pandemic began because we don't have barriers. And historically, we collect about 10% of revenue on our local routes. And this is an article that just gives a different perspective in terms of, for so little dollars, considering how much we spend on fare technology, et cetera, we're looking at things very differently, and the industry is looking at things very differently, including bills that have been pre-filed in the legislature, et cetera, to really look at reducing local transit fares. So this is just another food for thought item. And Perrin, our Director of Operations and Operations Planning, has given, we always put really a so what moment in the article. So how does that apply to us? So just please take a few moments and do that. But beyond that, Madam Chair, no, and just again, Keolis has done a fantastic job. Their first week was the week of the elections. So they were on ESP, so they got immediate practice and have done a great job communicating, coordinating. The reduction in accidents has shown. We're absolutely thrilled with the work they're doing and thanking them.
Okay. We'll now move into item 10. If you all will recall, last month we asked for a presentation for the audit report. And so we do have, I think, about 5 slides to share. And with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Burak.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can everyone hear me?
We can hear
good
you.
evening, and thank you for having me back this month to present the financial statements. I do have a slide presentation that I believe Carl will place up on the screen right now to go over. Next screen, Carl. The financial statements that we audit for PRTC, only several pages in those financial statements belong to PB mayors. Those opinions on the financials. Included in this year's audited financials are 2 opinions. One opinion on the basic financial statements, which can be located on pages 1 through 3, and a second opinion on internal controls that we have to issue under government auditing standards. Both of those opinions are unmodified. And for us as auditors, that's the highest opinion we can issue. So it's a clean opinion again this year. There were no issues with completing the audit this year's plan. The only change obviously was this was a remote audit for the first time due to the pandemic. No material weaknesses, significant deficiencies or compliance findings were noted during the audit process. The one opinion that is not included in the audited financial statements that is typically included relates to the single audit. We were unable to complete the single audit back in the fall due to OMB had not released its final guidance and specifications related to the CARES Act funding. Those specifications was released in late December, and we just this week finished up our testing around that. So we should be able to release that report in draft next week to PRTC staff to review, and then finalize that last audit requirement for FY 2020. Next slide, Carl. A few items to highlight in the financial statements. We did have a decline in operating revenues, which consist of fare box funding and motor fuels tax during that 4th quarter of FY 20 with the ridership decline and consumers not traveling as much. The fuel tax that we typically collect declined in that period. Operating expenses increased by approximately 3.1 million. And that was primarily attributed to the increase in direct transportation expenses related to jurisdictional projects and payments to VRE made on behalf of the jurisdictions there at PRTC. The operating loss for the year was 25.2 million. That's an increase of approximately 10 million over the prior year. And due to the two items previously mentioned, that increase in operating loss was primarily attributed to the two items previously mentioned. Non-operating revenues, which consist of grants, capital grants, things of that nature, that increased for the year, 5 million. So that helped offset some of the losses that we experienced from operations. Capital grants and assistance decreased by 11.5 million, and that can fluctuate annually depending on the type of projects or purchases that PRTC has for the year, such as buses, the Western Facility Project, things of that nature. In your financial statements, there's a transfer that's included. That increased this year by 3.6 million. And what this represents is PRTC receives federal funding on behalf of VRE. So that funding is passed through PRTC to VRE. So the financial statements reflects a transfer line, and that's the money that gets transferred over to VRE from PRTC. With all that being said, the positive for the year is net position did increase 15.5 million for the year. So if you think about that, that's kind of your overall income for the fiscal year. Next slide, Carl. Total assets and deferred outflows of resources increased for the year, 9.5 million. Large increase of that was due to the increase in CIP related to the Western Facility Project that was completed shortly after year end, in which PRTC was granted occupancy permits and staff started to move over to that facility. Restricted cash for member jurisdictions at year end was 15.7 million. This is funding that's collected through the motor fuels tax that's available for the jurisdictions to use at their discretion for transit related projects. One item that's reflected in many financial statements, especially in your jurisdictions, is a pension liability related to the VRS plan that PRTC employees participate in. At the end of the fiscal year, PRTC's share of that liability was only 154,000. And information related to the pension plan can be found on the pages referenced there. Your net position, the assets, it's a kind of your equity of the commission increased 15.5 million, as I mentioned previously, and that consists of 87.2 million in net investment in capital assets, the bricks and mortar, the buses, the things of that nature that PRTC owns. There's restricted assets of 20.2 million, which primarily relates to the member jurisdiction funds that can only be used for transit related projects at the jurisdiction's discretion. The remaining net position, 22.2 million, is what you had available at year end to fund operations into the future, into FY 2021. Included in the financial statements and items that we have to audit, kind of key accounting issues, relates to estimates, judgments, and estimates. Capital assets is probably the largest one that's reflected in the financial statements of PRTC. That relates to depreciation, amortization. What's the life of a bus? Is it 5 years, 10 years? That's what. So that's all an estimate. The pension liability, that's also an estimate based off actuarial reports that we receive annually from VRS. Inventory valuation, this is an item that's included in PRTC's financials, but is primarily related to VRE, along with the allowance for doubtful accounts that's related to VRE. Those are two estimates that we show in PRTC's financials, because included in the financials of PRTC is an allocation of VRE activities That's VRE is split between the two commissions, MVTC and PRTC. So no new accounting policies adopted this year. GASB delayed implementation on any new accounting policies due to COVID. There's a few accounting policies for next year that'll have to be implemented, but nothing for this year. Again, this year, no audit adjustments. When the financial information was provided to us, everything was reconciled to a penny. Couple required communications. There should have been a second report that you received from us that we have to issue annually. These are a couple of highlighted items in there. Discusses our responsibility as auditors, that we have to issue an opinion under government auditing standards, the specifications issued for audits of authorities, boards, and commissions by the APA of Virginia, and also the uniform guidance issued by OMB included in their compliance supplement. There was a separate letter issued at the beginning of the audit back in the spring to discuss planning, scope, timing. The only thing that changed with that was the remote audit that had to be done. Everything else was timely as was on time as scheduled. No disagreements with management. We're not aware of any consultants or anything of that nature that PRTC used during the course of the year. No significant issues discussed with management that related in any type of findings. No difficulties in performing the audit as stated before. Next slide, Carl. Independence, we're not aware of any relationship that we believe would impair our independence. That's an annual evaluation we have to go through to ensure that we're independent in order to perform the audit each year. We did issue a separate management letter. The only items included in that management letter relate to upcoming GASB pronouncements that we believe will impact the commission moving forward. And that's all I have for this evening. If anyone has questions, I'd be glad to answer those.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bureaucrat. Any questions or comments from Prince William County?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Supervisor Bailey?
I just wanted to thank Mr. Bureaucrat for making it so simple for us to understand and digest. Taking the time to do that. It's a lot of documents, and we appreciate your work, and thank you for breaking it down for us.
You're welcome, ma'am. If you ever need anything to put you to sleep at night, you can always pick up the financials and read the footnotes.
But it was a good story. Thank you.
Any other questions from Prince William County? Stafford County?
No questions.
The City of Manassas? Manassas Park?
No questions.
Spotsylvania?
No
No questions.
Fredericksburg?
No questions.
General Assembly? And DRPT?
No questions.
Okay, Mr. Bureaucrat, thank you for the presentation. Like I said earlier, much better than having to read almost 200 pages. So we do appreciate that.
I understand that.
With that, if you just want to stick around so that we can go into item 11, which is authorization to accept the PRTC FY20 audit report. Is there a motion for 11.1?
So moved. Bureau.
Second.
I think I heard a motion from Mr. Kelly, seconded by Supervisor Bailey. Okay. Any other discussion from Prince William County? Stafford County? City of Manassas?
No questions.
Manassas Park?
No questions.
Spotsylvania?
No questions.
Fredericksburg?
No questions.
General Assembly? And DRPT?
No questions, Jeff.
No questions.
Christine, will you call the roll?
You muted, Christine. I'll go ahead and call the roll for that, Madam Chair. Mr. Angry? Mr. Angry?
Aye, can you hear me?
I can now. Ms. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Bodie?
Aye.
Ms. Franklin?
Aye.
Ms. Lawson?
Aye.
Ms. Vega?
Aye.
Ms. Allen? Ms. Shelton?
Aye.
Ms. Subesche?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Mr. Skinner?
Aye.
Mr. Horsley?
Aye.
Senator Barker?
Aye.
That resolution has passed, Madam Chair.
Okay, again, thank you, Mr. Biraker, for the presentation.
Thank you all. Have a great evening. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you. We'll now go into item 11.2, authorization to apply for and accept funding for FY 2022 to FY 2023 I-395 commuter choice projects. Bob, did you want to speak a little bit to this?
Yes, of these, 5 of the 7 projects are the continuation of existing routes or services, including local service, enhanced local service on the Route 1 corridor, our services from the Dale City, Roslyn, Boston corridor, and our new services out of Staffordsboro lot up to Washington, D.C. and the Pentagon. The other 2 are directly tied to van pools to create some incentivized programs to help restore van pools as the pandemic decreases, but also to offset some of the startup costs for new van pools for a parking incentive. And of course, these are no dollars directly to the agency. They are funded through the 395 project agreement.
Gotcha. Is there a motion to move into this item?
So move, Supervisor Bailey.
Moved by Supervisor Bailey. Is there a second?
Second, Supervisor Bodie.
Seconded by Supervisor Bodie. Are there any questions or comments from Prince William County? Stafford County?
Stafford County wants to thank you guys for all the work that's been done to allow us to have these routes. Thank you again. And we support this new grant request.
City of Manassas, any questions, comments? Manassas Park,
No question.
Spotsylvania, Fredericksburg.
Questions?
No questions.
Okay. General Assembly
Questions?
and DRPT.
No questions, but because DRPT makes a recommendation for funding to the CTB, the Commonwealth Transportation Board, I'll need to abstain from this.
Okay. Christine, will you please call the roll?
All right, I'm going to try.
We can hear you this time.
Oh, the 8th time is the charm. Victor Angry,
Aye.
Andrea Bailey,
Aye.
Kenny Bodie,
Aye.
Margaret Franklin,
Aye.
Janine Lawson,
Aye.
Yesley Vega,
Aye.
Tanisha Allen,
Aye.
Cindy Shelton,
Aye.
Pam Subesche, I didn't hear a reply from Pam Subesche.
Aye.
Daryl Moore,
Aye.
Matt Kelly,
Aye.
Deborah Frazier,
Aye.
Gary Skinner,
Aye.
Todd Horsley,
Abstain.
and George Barker.
Aye.
Madam Chair, that resolution is approved.
Okay, thank you. Before we get into chair's time, actually, Christine, can you please read the public comments? I do think it's important to do that while we're all together. So if you can just read those, I think it's only a few.
Yes, there are 2 letters that I believe Dr. Schneider explained were received too late to be included at our December meeting, but they asked that it would be read at the January meeting. So the first is from Moses Ismario. My mom told me just now that she sent you an email you would read out loud to the Transportation Committee. Since this is too late, please read it at the next meeting. My dad is a driver in Woodbridge. Today is his birthday. Right now, he has a schedule that requires him to be at the yard just after 4 a.m., and he gets home at night at about 8:30 p.m. He has a 7-hour split in between his shifts, so he drives to Fredericksburg every lunch and back to Woodbridge. At night, he has almost exactly 8 hours to commute, eat, and sleep. That's not enough. So he sleeps on his lunch break sometimes. I'm one of 6 kids. We need our dad. He commutes for 4 hours every day just to be in our lives. That is part of being a bus driver of commuters, I understand. However, if he had just a few more hours at night, he could get a proper sleep and not rush while driving. He could even eat dinner with us and not rush. Every day, my mom reminds us to have everything ready to maximize time with Dad. My mom has been trying to help my dad get a better schedule with this recent bid. The company is refusing to let her in and can't answer most of her questions and is treating her like she is so problematic. All she is trying to do is help my exhausted dad have one less stress. When Dad is stressed, his risk of an accident is higher. Dad could kill people if he wrecks his bus. His passengers don't wear seatbelts like the drivers. Mom always tells him to be safe. I am 19 and just got my license. I don't want to be on the road with drivers who are sleepy. I don't want to be on the road with drivers who have no scheduled lunches. Mom said the drivers with straight schedules, meaning no split shift, most have no lunch or break scheduled. That's legal in Virginia, but for a bus driver to never walk in 8 hours, they risk blood clots that can kill them. Denying people a lunch break or even a break to walk for 8 hours seems cruel to me. Yes, they might get a 5-10 minutes here and there, but if it's not scheduled, they might not. Thank you for taking the time to read my email. My dad is not my father. My father died. So it's important to me that my dad is able to stay in my life. Please help keep my dad and his coworkers safe. Sincerely, Moses DiCarlo. And the next message is from Elena Ismerio. Dear Transportation Commission of PRTC, my mom said the new schedules are not safe. My mom is a smart person and she gives good advice that has never been wrong, so I trust her. She also used to drive buses in San Diego. My dad has a bad schedule right now that my mom said more drivers are at risk of having schedules like that. He is always sleepy. He is a lot more grumpy and less patient since moving to Virginia. He has to wear his uniform all day. He leaves around 3:30 a.m. and is not done working until after 7:30 at night. He works so hard to provide a good life for us. He has never had an accident and he never complains that he's tired. I have been helping my mom with the math of these schedules to find my dad the good ones. Almost all the schedules have less than 10 hours at night between shifts. That's not enough time for life and family. Did you know that bus drivers who drive long distances get a mandatory minimum of 10 hours to rest? Not at my dad's yard. I don't like this new company. Please make them treat these people like they deserve to be treated, loved family members. That's my dad you're discussing. I have my learner's permit since I'm 16, and my parents are teaching me how to drive. This is important to me because I'm driving on the road with these buses. I hope they are alert and not distracted. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Elena DiCarlo. Madam Chair, those are the 2 comments that were received.
Thank you, Christine. And I'm not sure if those individuals are watching, but thank you for those comments. And I know Ms. Murdoch has been working as diligently as she can to figure out the runs, and she will continue to do that. So thank you for those comments. All right, we'll now go into chair's time. Item 12.1, election of the 2021 PRTC Commission officers. I will now turn it over to the nominating committee, which is led by Pamela Subesche.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
The nominating committee puts forth the following nominations for the 2021 PRTC officers. Margaret Franklin, Prince William County Chair. Jeanette Rischel, City of Manassas Park Vice Chair. Pamela Subesche, City of Manassas Secretary. Deborah Frazier, Spotsylvania Treasurer. Andrea Bailey, Prince William at Large. Cindy Shelton, Stafford County at Large.
Madam Chair,
Yes. I'm sorry, you're talking to, I'm not the chair anymore. You're
well,
talking to
excuse
Pamela.
me, I just had a quick question. I'll wait.
No, that's, I think that's directed at Pamela Subesche, right?
Yeah, I was just,
Okay, I'm sorry.
I needed her to repeat, that's all. I'm sorry.
I will be happy to do that. Does anyone
Thank
need to
you.
know who the nominating committee was? We had one from all 6 jurisdictions represented on the nominating committee. I became the ad hoc chair. And the slate being proposed is Chair Margaret Franklin, Prince William County. Vice Chair Jeanette Rischel, City of Manassas Park. Treasurer Pam Subesche, City of Manassas. Treasurer Deborah Frazier, Spotsylvania County. At large, Andrea Bailey, Prince William County, and Cindy Shelton, Stafford County.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Madam
And,
Chair, I move
just-
to approve the slate.
I second.
Well, procedurally, I believe there's one thing is just to, I believe procedurally to call for nominations from the floor. I think our bylaws require that. Sharon can correct me if I'm wrong, but just doing that step before a motion.
I was
Yes,
going to say,
I would do
the
that.
chair's going to do that. The chair's going to call for that more, any
Gotcha.
nominations. Is Margaret still on here?
Oh, am I?
She said she was
okay.
no longer the chair.
I think you're supposed to do that, right?
It says on the, I can ask, are there any other nominations from the floor?
None.
Madam Chair, hearing none, I make a motion that we accept these nominations.
Second. Second.
Actually, so Sharon, just for clarity, she's the temporary chair now, right?
No.
No, she's just
Okay.
the ad hoc chair of the nominating committee. You're the chair.
You're still the chair.
You're the chair until this next vote. And since there have been no nominations from the floor, I don't want to anticipate it, but you may still be the chair. No, but you are the chair right now. Yes.
Okay.
Against your will.
Okay. My apologies for the 30 seconds that I was derelict in my duties. Okay, so there's a motion on the floor from Supervisor Lawson,
And a second by Supervisor Angry.
seconded by Supervisor Angry. Are there any questions or comments from Prince William County?
None.
Stafford County?
None.
City of Manassas?
Love you.
And I just want to thank everyone from the nominating committee. These are difficult times to try to get together. And I want to thank everyone for being responsive to me as I reached out to you so we could come up with this slate of officers. So that's all. Thank you.
Manassas Park?
Yeah, I just want to briefly say that Mayor Rischel, who could not make tonight's meeting, is just honored to be nominated a vice chair.
Thank you, sir. Spotsylvania?
No questions.
No questions.
Fredericksburg?
No questions.
General Assembly?
Excuse me, no questions.
DRPT?
No questions.
Christine, will you please call the roll?
Victor Angry,
Aye.
Andrea Bailey,
Aye.
Kenny Modi,
Aye.
Margaret Franklin,
Aye.
Janine Lawson,
Aye.
Yesley Vega,
Aye.
I didn't hear a report. Thank you. Tanisha Allen, Cindy Shelton,
Aye.
Pam Subesche,
Aye.
Daryl Moore,
Aye.
Matt Kelly,
Aye.
Deborah Frazier,
Aye.
Gary Skinner,
Aye.
Todd Horsley,
Aye.
George Barker.
Aye.
Madam Chair, that resolution is approved.
Okay,
Madam
thank
Madam Chair?
Supervisor Angry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Once again, I missed the opportunity. And I wanted to say, just on behalf of Prince William County Board of Supervisors, you know, our decision to elect you to the second term as chair of PRTC has been that 2020 was a very trying year, as we know, with COVID. We had a lot of, downplay with our bus systems, and ridership was down. Also, we know we just came out of a transition into Keolis, where we had these this major situations going on with our operators. And so this is just the opportunity to allow you to finish basically what you started and come through this. So I just wanted to let the rest of the commission know how that came about, for you to be continuing to shepherd us through this new year of 2021, and now what we will call our recovery year as we press forward and do better things. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. We'll now move into item 12.2, concurrence with member jurisdiction appointments to VRE Operations Board. Note that this item has been blue sheeted with updated VRE Operation Board appointment. I guess before we get into that, Supervisor Lawson, did you have any comments with regards to this?
Honestly, Madam Chair, I don't. I'm flipping through it right now to find my. Nope, I'm good.
All right. Is there a motion to move this item forward?
So moved, Daryl.
Okay, motion moved by Mr. Daryl Moore. Is there a second?
Second, Supervisor Vega.
Seconded by Supervisor Vega. Are there any questions or comments from Prince William County? Stafford County?
Not to add something.
City of Manassas?
Nothing.
Manassas Park?
No question.
Spotsylvania?
No questions.
Fredericksburg?
No questions.
General Assembly?
No questions.
And DRPT.
No questions.
Okay, Christine, will you please call the roll?
Victor Angry,
Aye.
can everyone hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Andrea Bailey,
Aye.
Kenny Bodie,
Aye.
Margaret Franklin,
Aye.
Janine Lawson,
Aye.
Yesley Vega,
Aye.
Tanisha Allen, Cindy Shelton,
Aye.
Pam Subesche,
Aye.
Daryl Moore,
Aye.
Matt Kelly,
Yes.
Deborah Frazier,
Aye.
Gary Skinner,
Aye.
Todd Horsley,
Aye.
and George Barker.
Aye.
Madam Chair, that resolution is approved.
Okay, we'll now move into item 13, Commissioner's time. If you do not have anything, feel free to say pass, and we'll just go down the roll. Christine, if you want to call out the names.
Hey, you're gonna do good for you.
Yes, Victor Angry,
Thank you. I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone, and really hoping that we can truly have a Happy New Year and prosper this year. It's a recovery year. Let's do everything we can to make it right. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Andrea Bailey,
I'd like to say Happy New Year as well, and congratulations to our new officers. And I think we had a great year last year, and we are onward and moving forward to a great year in 2021. Good night.
Kenny Bodie,
Yes, good evening, everyone. Wanted to also wish everyone a happy new year and echo many of the sentiments expressed by Supervisor Angry earlier. I want to commend our awesome leadership team of last year and welcome, congratulate them to being our leadership team this year. As Supervisor Angry also said, hopefully this will be a year where we'll start to see everything ramp back up. We know there'll be a lot of transportation needs throughout our community once folks start getting back to work, we start getting vaccines into arms. It's my hope that we can serve as good partners and stewards of making sure that folks need to get where they need to go as we start to recover. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night.
Janine Lawson.
Thank you. Just a happy new year, everybody. Congrats to the new slate of officers. To Madam Chair, thanks for taking this on another year. I concur with what Supervisor Angry said earlier. I'll see most of you tomorrow morning in the VRE meeting.
Yesli Vega.
Happy New Year, everyone. Have a great night.
And our alternates, Kalai Kandasamy, are you still here?
Yes, thank you for the appointment. Happy to serve and Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you. Is Kim Short still with us?
Yes, Happy New Year, everyone. I look forward to serving with each of you and serving the community. Good night.
Benny Smith?
Nothing, thank you.
Tanisha Allen?
No, thank you.
Cindy Shelton?
Defer my time.
Is Thomas Cone still with us? Okay. Pam Subesche?
Happy New Year and welcome to the new people. I'm always here if you have any questions.
And Ralph Smith?
Just thank you. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Alana Mensing? Councilmember Mensing, are you still with us? Okay. Daryl Moore?
Yeah, just happy new year and congratulations to the new slate of officers.
Matt Kelly?
Pass.
Deborah Frazier?
Happy New Year, everyone, and looking forward to another year.
Gary Skinner?
Yes, I have a comment. The two letters that was read to us, it's very concerning that that is actually happening out there. So I would like Bob, if Dr. Bob's there, can you check into what they wrote? Because truly, it raised a red flag for me.
Yes,
I know,
Mr. Skinner.
Yes,
we did receive that last month, so that was actually examined, and I'll ask Ms. Murdoch to confirm. I know we don't like to address things directly that are brought up in there because we don't want to call people out. But it's my understanding that driver picked a schedule that has them off by 2 p.m. daily. Ms. Murdoch, is that accurate?
That's accurate. We follow all federal guidelines in terms of the laws about how long they drive, and we follow union rules, and all operators pick their own schedules, and that particular operator gets off at 2 p.m. daily.
is that something that is new? I mean, was he in that position, or was that driver in that position until you were able to give him a new route? And my question is that route been changed, or is there somebody else that's going to take that place?
He chose the route once it was put up for bid.
Okay, do we have other people in that same situation then that are not complaining and just trying to do it? This to me, I'm sorry, it's a red flag to me. And when people are driving almost 16 hours a day or what it is, it is dangerous for everybody. So Bob, how about if you could, at least at the next meeting, can you guys give us a brief on, where's the longest driver ride? What's the schedule like? Do you work 4 hours, sleep 3 or I really don't know what's going on, but I would like to know it. Is
Right.
that possible to happen there, Madam Chair?
Yes, we'll see what kind of analysis we can do for you. I can say this, that the information that was read into those letters seemed very inconsistent with the run cut that I saw. And I can't recall a single run that fit those parameters. Additionally, one challenge we face is we cannot dictate where a person chooses to live. The vast majority of our employees live in the Prince William Stafford area. We have had employees that drive in from Culpeper. So those are examples of, those are some of those variables that are out of our control, but we will definitely look into that and provide a report back to the commission. That'll be covered under my time on follow-up from previous meetings.
Thank you, Dr. Bob. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
And just say Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you.
Todd Horsley,
I will pass, other than to say Happy New Year.
and George Barker.
Thank you for the opportunity to comment just briefly here on things. We do have some good news from the state level in a lot of different respects. Despite the virus, everything we've had to deal with COVID and the impact it's had upon our economy, it looks like right now we are close to 8% above last year's figures for the first 6 months of this fiscal year in terms of revenues, which is helping us restore funding, a lot of funding that we had to freeze back in April. So we are making significant progress, and it looks like we're on target to probably finish the fiscal year at the end of June, about 10% ahead of last year's revenue. So we are actually doing quite well overall, and those are general fund revenues. On the transportation side, our revenues are up, but that is largely because of the transportation bill that we passed last year, which is providing significant increases in revenues. But we're running a little behind where we had projected because of the reduction in driving and therefore gas taxes and those types of things that have been collected. But I think long-term things look very good there. And in terms of some of the other issues that are before us, in addition to the funding that Dr. Snyder had talked about as it relates to the federal legislation that passed in late December, we have $250 million in funding that was basically Senator Warner was instrumental in getting that into the federal legislation that passed in late December. That is for transportation without any restrictions on how we would use that money. So we will have some positive decisions to make there to deal with some additional transportation issues. And we are readily increasing the amount of money that is going to transit. There's also in the governor's proposed amendments to the budget, $50 million to begin a process of developing extensive rail capacity between Northern Virginia, Washington, DC area and Roanoke in a direct line rather than going through the Lynchburg line that it goes through right now. So we are doing a lot of things to give a lot more options to the citizens of the Commonwealth. And we'll be, I think, continuing to make significant progress, and I'll keep you posted on things since I am chair of the Transportation Subcommittee, the Senate Finance Committee. So,
Madam Chair, that concludes Commissioner's time.
Excellent, thank you. I will. I'll keep my remarks short. Just want to thank everyone again for the vote of confidence. Obviously, we had a very challenging year last year with COVID, as well as some transportation issues here locally with the transition to Keolis, but I am still very optimistic. We have some good things going. There will be growing pains, but I'm confident that we'll end up on the better side of things. Also want to thank Pamela Subesche for serving as vice chair last year. She was an incredible vice chair. We collaborated a lot. We made sure that everything that came from the exec team was a joint effort. And so I really appreciate your efforts. Very easy to work with you, and I appreciate that. I also want to thank PRTC staff and Bob and everybody for being patient with the transition. I know we have a lot of new board members and a new chair essentially. So I appreciate you all kind of roughing it out and helping to figure everything out. Keolis, thank you for coming on board. Thank you for kind of just jumping in there and figuring it out. And to Mr. Skinner's point, we will give everyone the opportunity at the next meeting to understand how the runs are structured. It's not easy putting those together, but it could be uncomfortable for some. And so, they'll go over kind of how they arrived at the runs that they put together. And I know that Ms. Murdoch has been working with as many of the bus operators as possible to figure out how to get everybody a run that they were comfortable with. And with that, Happy New Year, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you again. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Madam Chair.
Moved by Supervisor Bailey, seconded by Supervisor Bodie. With that, all in favor? All opposed?
Aye.
And we will
Aye.
adjourn this meeting. Thank you all. All right, thanks, guys. I'm logging off.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your work.
I'm sorry for my audio problems.
Oh, that's okay. That's the world we live in. Have a good night.